Good morning, guys. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. Today we'd like to continue with the Bushcraft Skills series, and I'd like to talk about staying dry. Now with this episode we're going to focus on keeping your gear dry. On a later episode we'll talk about keeping ourselves dry. But your preparations at the beginning will pay dividends at the end. Preparation is never wasted. Remember that. So if I prepare for my gear not to get wet before I ever leave the house, when I get out there and that unexpected inclement weather hits, my gear is going to be dry. I don't have to panic and then change configuration. So let me show you a down and dirty trick that works very well. Now I've got my standard pack that you've seen in most of my videos. This is one of the German Alpine packs. And this is a later model that's Condura nylon, and that is in itself a little bit water repellent. You can spray silicone on it to make it even more water repellent if you want to. I come up through the years using a variety of things to keep my gear dry. The cheapest, most down and dirty, trash bags. Double layer trash bags into it, one inside the other. Put your gear into it, take the inner trash bag, close it up tight, take the outer trash bag, close it up tight, and then flap it. Short of dunking it underwater for a few moments, that should handle most of your gear. But they make dry bags that are specifically for bags like this, and they got roll tops and snaps. And I really like those when I'm canoeing, where there's a good chance it's going to go under and be under for a minute. But it's kind of a hassle for the in and out where I just need this real quick. And so for that, I use a different system. Now the first thing when I open up my pack is I want something I can grab immediately and pull out that is itself waterproof. Now this is a ground sheet. I want this so I can throw it on the ground if it's already been raining. My gear is going to be dry, and this is someplace dry for me to sit down or dry for me to get under. It's also a full ground sheet, so I can open it up and throw it over me if we're about to have just one heck of a downpour, and I can hunker down and ride it out without having to dig out anything else. You know, one of them torrential downpours, it's only going to last 20 minutes. You can tell it, you can see it coming. I just need something to throw over me to protect me. So I'm going to pull this straight out of the top. I'm going to open it up, you know, and then I'm going to take and throw it over me and my gear and etc. A quick grab. It also becomes my thing to open up so I can spread out my gear, I can sit down, etc. So this is the first thing when I open up my pack I should be able to reach. Now, inside the pack should be some sort of liner like I talked about. Now you can simply use heavy duty garbage bags, they work. You can also get professionally made modern nylon bags, or these are cheap and available, cheap military surplus liners that were used by the military for the same job. Now this particular one is, I believe, German, and it's a rubberized vinyl bag that has a pull string closure up here. And the Germans got it right. I'll explain that in a minute. The rubberized coating is on the outside of the bag, and the inside of this bag is the nylon type stuff. Well, that don't make sense, Blackie. Wouldn't you want the nylon on the outside? No, because this is going to be sitting in a pack, remember? And so when I take the pack and I take it and put it inside, when I take it and put it inside and open it up, my gear going in and out is going to wear on this side, so I want the tougher nylon to my side. Between the outside and the bag is going to be relatively stable. It's not going to have me dragging gear in and out over it. If I had the rubberized coating to the inside, I run a risk of scratching it, tearing it, snagging it as I pull my gear in and out. So they put it correctly to the outside so that once I put it in here, it will line the bag, which this one does very well. And then it's got a drawstring where I can pull it up tight to secure the top. Then the bag itself has a drawstring to pull up besides that. Now, a pack that has such a setup in it will float for a time. I'm not saying you can float down the Colorado River with it, but if you will secure it up tight so it's not easy for water or air to get out of it, and you secure the whole bag up fairly tight, you can throw it down and it will float. This will give you an opportunity to grab a hold of your bag should you drop it into a running, flowing water. It will float for a little bit and give you time to get it instead of just bloop, it's gone. It'll float. Also, if you fall into the water, you can get the straps off, you can grab a hold of your bag and kick with your legs and use it like flotation to get to the bank to get back out. So a bag floating is a good thing. Now, the U.S. military surplus, and this is the large liner. This went into the great big Alice pack. As you can see, it's big. I have found over the years that these have multiple uses, not just for bag liners, but let's stay with the topic a moment. It has the nylon on the outside and the rubber on the inside. Now when you are going to a military surplus place and you pick up one of these bags, how do you know it's really in good shape? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to open it up, do like this, and look up into it so that you can see pinholes on it. If there's any holes, you'll see a pinpoint of light coming through the inside. A few is not a major deal. A little dot of duct tape will fix that. If it looks like a buckshot pattern, pass it and go to something else. But I take and turn these inside out. Again, like the German model, I put the rubber to the outside so that when I put it into the pack, the inner surface is the more durable Condura nylon, and therefore it doesn't wear it out. When I'm sealing it up, this has a tie cord on the inside. I simply pull that edge up and I do this. I Z-fold just like this. I start pulling up all the edge in this Z pattern. You know, grab a piece, fold it over, grab a piece, fold it over, grab a piece, fold it over. Just like that. Now there's my tie. I want to gather at the top, go all the way around twice, pull it tight, come up here, and I will typically put a half hitch, just like that, to hold it. And then this tab that's sticking up right here, I'll half hitch to that as well. That's where I can find it easy in the dark. Okay? Now, having done it like that, I now have a bag that is relatively secure and waterproof. So, how this relates to our bushcraft. If I go ahead and put a liner into my backpack, at the very cheapest, a couple of trash bags. At the better, these. On the top end, those true, you know, wet, dry, floating bags, those dry bags that are very heavy duty. Depending on what your needs are, that's it. Me personally, the military surplus ones do the job, because usually all I'm going to be is caught out in the rain, where in my beloved South, weather can change quickly, and what looked like a beautiful day, and 20 minutes later you got a horrendous downpour as a front or a cloud or something rolls up off the Gulf. So I need to be able to have something that I can quickly pull out, not necessarily throw up a shelter, but I'm still needing to travel. I'm not to my destination. I just need to be able to hunker down for a minute. Being able to sit my pack down and me be able to sit on it, put the straps up toward me, sit down on my pack if there's nothing I'm going to crush, and put this over the top of me. I'll remain relatively dry. My gear will remain relatively dry. If I'm already seeing it's coming and I put on my rain jacket and I put my backpack back on, my ruck, and I start walking, even though the outside of the ruck is getting wet, I know my gear on the inside is staying dry. And that is a real motivator to get to your destination in a driving rainstorm and know that your bed and your blankets are dry. Everything else can be dried out. I can build a fire or I can let it air dry tomorrow. But knowing that my dry sleeping clothes are dry and that my bedding is dry, my food is dry, is a great peace of mind. I hope this helps, guys. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.